Hey guys, this is Nico. It's been a while since I haven't made a video on YouTube. Actually, I've been away for almost 10 months now, both on YouTube and on Instagram. So it's great to be back. Yeah, a lot has been going on, both personal, professional. Some things were planned, some were not. But it's mostly about growth and challenges. So I'll actually share more about that in another video. I'll probably make a vlog that will come out at the end of August or beginning of September. So it should be in there. I'll talk about all my personal growth and challenges in there. But today we're doing a Q&A video. So it's kind of a comeback video, but at the same time, it's a Q&A to answer all of your questions about both my personal and student life, what being a student in Paris is like, and also about my school, Kedge Business School, how it is being a student there, and what could you expect as a student if you want to go there, or just any business school in France in general, and more so on the IBBA or the Global BBA program. So first things first, first question we're going to answer: what happened during my break? So to make it a short answer, basically wins, mistakes, resets, but it's all been offline. Haven't posted much of it, and but I'll unpack it probably soon for sure. But for now, I'm back and focused, and that's all there is to know about this. Second question: how's Paris? Can you get part-time jobs easily? So that is a very interesting question. Well, to be very frank, Paris is an amazing city. But finding part-time jobs as an international student can be very challenging or tough, especially if you don't speak French. Like a friend of mine asked me a few months ago if I knew how to help her find a part-time job here in Paris. But I didn't really know at the time. I didn't have a clear, concise, clear-cut answer for her, and so I told her, "Yeah, no, I'm sorry, I don't really know because your French is not good enough to get a proper job in Paris." And I guess you could work in a clothes shop or at a McDonald's, but other than that, if you want to get other jobs, it might be very challenging. And France's employment market is especially challenging for both for French people and for foreigners as well. So that's, however, how I realized that how challenging it is for a lot of international students here in Paris, and how life can be challenging as a whole. So that struggle that people actually felt actually pushed me to start working on my own project to help students like her figure things out, and also be able to get some working opportunities, and just get some opportunities to make money and work. So it's something beyond traditional jobs, creating new ways to build income and experience. So I'll share a lot more about that soon because it's still in a very early development stage, my project. But yeah, guys, stay tuned and you'll definitely hear some news about that soon. So now on to question 3. So did I feel overwhelmed at first? So this question comes to me from my friend Tuizong. And I mean, to answer frankly this question, well, personally, I didn't feel that overwhelmed. I would be lying if I said I did. Because I mean, I can speak French, I can speak English, so I could basically socialize with most people at school. And I kind of treated it like high school 2.0 once I got there in the first place. The only difference being new people, new systems, new expectations for you, new subjects, and new teachers. But the environment, while being better, of course, than high school, in my opinion, depends, might not be the same for you, but in my case, it was. I still feel like it was pretty similar. If you treat it in a similar way, if you view it as something similar as high school, it may be easier in the beginning, but it might still be overwhelming for most people. Because yeah, it is new expectations. Of course, it's a new wave of stress that's quite different from what you may have experienced before. But I feel like once you focus and set your priorities straight, the overwhelming will kind of fade on its own. And it's also, if I have an advice for this, it's that even though I did treat it like high school 2.0 in the beginning, what I have noticed with a lot of my classmates there is that they have continued to treat it as high school 2.0, which is not the right thing to do, in my opinion. After a while, after getting used to it, I think that you should treat it very differently from high school because Kedge and business schools in general won't expect you to like they won't push you around so as for you to do your work, to get your work done. You're on your own basically, with your comrades, your classmates, of course, because there are a lot of group projects in the business school. That's what makes it interesting, in my opinion. A lot of application. You've got a lot of projects to do, basically, almost one for every subject, and it is a very interesting thing, in my opinion. Because the teachers and the school won't push you to get your work done. It's on you. It's basically on you. You got to do it. But if you don't, that's your problem. That's 100% your problem. You're gonna get bad grades, and you're gonna regret it later. So, if I have one advice, is that you got to start figuring your things out. So thank you, Thuizong, for your question. Now on to the next question, question 4. So I had a comment in my first video asking me, bro, how much for 2 years living expenses, excluding tuition fees? Well, to be fair, it is a very difficult question to answer because it really depends on your lifestyle. Some people might go out and eat outside more than I do because personally I do enjoy to cook at home, and because Paris is a very developed city and it's in France, and Paris is pretty pricey, to be honest. So it really depends on multiple factors such as rent, food, going out, having fun with your friends, everything. But yeah, Paris is very pricey, so be budget smart. There are a lot of budget alternatives, friendly budget options for you to get around. And I might make a video about this as well, so stay tuned in. Question 5, where's the huz at? Huh, that's an interesting question. If you mean where the girls are, well, Paris and Kedge and business schools in general, I would say that they have their fair share of girls, but it's not a movie, so you're not gonna get out there and you're not gonna get girls all of a sudden, just because of your natural charm. I mean, you never know. But yeah, you gotta put yourself out there in events. There are a lot of events organized by student associations, so you gotta put yourself out there, man. You gotta show yourself. And if you do, you might get girls. I mean, but yeah, you got to change your mentality, bro. That's not gonna cut it. But yeah, thanks for your question, still. Now 4 questions that are more specific to Kedge itself, the school, how it goes. So if you're not interested, you can just skip this part. But I think it could be quite interesting, even for people that are not specifically interested in Kedge, but maybe other business schools. Okay, so question 7, do we have a lot of classes in a week? Well, I would say it's usually around 15 to 20 hours a week, depending on the semester you're in, the year you're in as well. But it like when you look at the timetable, it might look like a lot, but there are a lot of breaks actually, and they're divided pretty fairly, even though sometimes it leads to a lot of downtime between classes. So if you live far away, that can be pretty exhausting. Pretty bad, yeah. But I mean, there aren't that many classes a week. I mean, it's classes of 3 hours, so you get 1 or 2 breaks depending on the teacher. But what you should expect though is a lot. Like I said before, it's a lot of projects and study outside class. So you got to be able to manage everything on your own comfortably. Okay, now question 8: can I choose subjects before semester starts? This question was also from my friend Thuizong. Well, this question is really interesting because it depends where you're at in the program. As I'm going into my second year, I was able to choose my specialization track during the second semester of the first year, but it only applies for my second year. So there are 4 of them: finance, emerging markets, supply chain, and marketing. And in my case, I chose finance because that was the subject I felt was the most compelling for me. But yeah, so if you are a first year student, it's pretty much a fixed lease for broad based. It's common classes for everyone. However, if you do speak French already, you can choose to study in French or continue your high school language. So sometimes there's a third language option in semester 2, which I had the chance to choose. That's basically it for the subject choices. Question 9: is the Kedge BBA worth it? That's an interesting question as well. I would say it really depends on what you want. If you just want lectures and parties, you will find that for sure. Maybe not as much as in other business schools like ISEC or Schema or whatever. But to build something real, you have to bring your own drive, mate. I'm not neither me nor Kedge is gonna bring the dog out of you. You got to do that yourself. Kedge is basically, and the IBBA is gonna be a platform for you to showcase your talents. If you don't have that drive in you, then I feel like you may as well just go to a normal university, and just have lectures there. Because if you're not going to be proactive and talkative and even just bring your own energy and bring something that's unique to yourself in class, then you're better off somewhere else maybe. So yeah, I would say that it is worth it, but only for some people. So these are the people that will benefit the most from a BBA program, people that want this international exposure and that are willing to bring something to the table. Question 10: what advice for someone starting a BBA? That kind of links itself to the question that we had explored in the first hand of the video. So, did you feel overwhelmed? I would say on the short run, you can treat it like high school 2.0. It will help you a lot in the beginning just to familiarize, socialize, make yourself some friends and everything. But on the long run, I think you should not treat it like high school 2.0. Yeah, I think in my opinion, what I did and what I think you should do as well, because that's the thing as well. I'm making this video for people to use my failures or other people's failures as advice. So yeah, don't really treat it like high school 2.0 on the long run. Shut up, bud. No, use the IBBA as a sandbox, I would say. As to building skills, network, and your reputation. For me, Kedge is more than just classes. And I'm not saying this to embellish Kedge and say it's awesome or anything, because it does have its fair share of downsides as well. But I would say that it has enabled me to do a lot of things that I wouldn't have been able to do in other schools. A lot of people often ask me, yeah, you got accepted by Sorbonne University, Paris Cité, and everything. And they told me, yeah, mate, why didn't you go there instead? It's a lot more well-known and everything. So they're more famous and better. But I say, yeah, but I wouldn't have been able to do all the things I do at Kedge in these universities. Just to tell you that what I've been doing during these 10 months, I've launched my own project as an entrepreneur at Kedge because they got an incubator, which helps you. And if you're a student at Kedge, it's actually free for you. And a lot of business schools have one as well. So you might as well use it to your advantage to create your own startup, your own project, everything. Yeah, you gotta make the most out of your opportunities. That's a big advice that I could give you at the moment. And at any point in your studies. So question 11, last but not least, how international is Kedge really? Kedge, I would say, is very, very international, especially the IBBA, because I mean, you can make it if you're a French student. A lot of French students also do the classic 3-year bachelor, and that's a lot less international for sure. But yeah, I would say it's pretty international. You might hear 5 different languages in the class, like let's say French, English, Russian, Chinese, maybe Hindi as well. Maybe why not? But yeah, most students they all stay in their comfort zone. But that's another advice that I gotta give you. You have to choose to connect across different cultures. If it's just French students, like if it's just French, the French students being together or the English speaking students being together, that's not a good thing. And that's why we had quite a huge argument with a lot of people in my class back in when semester 2 started, because we felt a big division between the French and the English students. So we had an argument. It wasn't the best way to do it for sure. And that's why I say we got to learn from our mistakes as well and try to make things better. And so that you guys don't actually repeat the things that the same mistakes that we did during this year. But in the end, it all worked out. It all worked out, and the French and the English speakers mesh really well together at the end of the semester. So I'm very happy for that. And yeah, basically that's the end for the questions. And thank you very much for watching and sending them questions. If you have more questions, you can always drop them down below in the comments or DM me on Instagram. And yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, and activate that notification bell. And yeah, follow me on Instagram as well. And I'll see you soon in the next one.